Hello and welcome to Reel to Reel today, coming to you from Kate's Kitchen in Holyoke, one of 7 programs run by Providence Ministries for the Needy, which receives funding from the annual Catholic Appeal of the Diocese of Springfield. For 40 years now, Providence Ministries has been a beacon of hope with the mission to feed, shelter, and clothe those in need. Today, Kate's Kitchen serves lunch daily to over 150 people. Loretto House, Broderick House, and McCleary Manor are home to men on their individual recovery journeys. St. Jude's Closet opens its doors to offer clothing and other household items to the community. Margaret's Pantry helps individuals and families with nutritious meals, and the FoodWorks Culinary Training Program helps students to increase their own capacity towards self-sufficiency. With Lent coming up this week, the Springfield Diocese Annual Catholic Appeal invites parishioners to put their faith into action by sharing God's love through acts of charity. Rebecca Drake recently interviewed a Holyoke couple who exemplifies this through their volunteer work here at Kate's Kitchen. Here now is their love story.
After nearly 2 years of marriage, Suzanne Picard and Richard Baer might still be mistaken for newlyweds. The couple, who are regular volunteers at Kate's Kitchen in Holyoke, say their love for each other is built upon the love of God and neighbor inspired by their Catholic faith.
It's very important to us, and when it's really about giving and love, and that's what the foundation of our marriage is the love that we share not only with one another but with our families and our community.
When I think of the greatest of the commandments, to love God and love your neighbor, well, how does one do that? Well, I think it's important to do it, to put it into action.
While Suzanne is a Holyoke native and cradle Catholic, Richard was raised in the Episcopal Church and hails from Chicago. Both were hospice nurses and living in Denver when they met. Richard and his wife, Betsy, later converted to Catholicism shortly before her death in 2012.
We started going to daily Mass during the last year of my wife's life. And it really just fed both of our souls.
In the years after his wife's death, Richard reconnected with Suzanne, who had moved back to Holyoke after raising her 2 sons. And when the friendship grew into love, they were married and committed to serving their community together. While attending a fundraiser for Providence Ministries, Richard and Suzanne met Executive Director Shannon Rudder, who suggested they volunteer at Kate's Kitchen, a meals program that receives grants from the annual Catholic Appeal.
This community of Holyoke meant a lot to me. And so that seemed the way to go, to give back to this community and to the folks, that are underserved in this community. And there's certainly a tremendous food insecurity here.
But through their volunteer work at Kate's Kitchen, they are doing much more than filling plates with food.
And Kate's Kitchen is our cornerstone program here in South Holyoke. We are dedicated to welcoming folks into our community kitchen from 12 to 2 each and every day, no questions asked, as our guest. And so folks come in and they are served meals. So it's what makes it very cool at Kate's to me is the dignity and the compassion that is shown.
During their time at Kate's, Suzanne and Richard also have become part of a close community of staff, volunteers, and Providence Ministry clients.
So having gotten to know the community that we serve, the fellas from upstairs, the other volunteers, the people who work in FoodWorks and the chefs, it's a really tight community. And the folks, our guests, our clients that come are so grateful. They'll just pop their head in the kitchen and say, thanks for the great meal. It was wonderful. And do you have seconds?
Richard, who is fluent in Spanish, says he especially values the friendships he has formed with Kate's Kitchen guests and staff.
I will sometimes be doing dishes while Suzanne is like the cafeteria lady, so she's always, but I might be working the dishwasher, but often I have the opportunity to go out and either help serve the guests or just visit with them. And there are a number of them that we've gotten close with.
During their interview with Catholic Communications, the couple said they can assure donors to the annual Catholic Appeal that they are making a difference.
I don't think Providence Ministries would exist without the donations and the contributions from the community, from our Catholic community. This is a great appeal and a great opportunity to help those. You know, if you can't volunteer there, there's always something you can do.
And those who donate monetary gifts can be sure that those dollars are being well spent.
The money goes a long way. It's really making a difference. I mean, we're serving 100 to 150 meals every day. 366 days this year. Yeah, so it's money well spent, and it's not wasted. It's well worth the contributions.
For Richard and Suzanne, the experience of volunteering isn't only about what they give, but what they receive.
We're getting to hang out with folks who appreciate us, and we appreciate them, and it's about kindness. It fills us as much as we hope that we fill them.
Yeah, it's just a very warm environment, a loving environment, and feeding the hungry and loving them sincerely, showing them a kindness and our joy.
God's gift of love, given and received with grateful hearts by Kate's Kitchen volunteers Richard Bear and Suzanne Picard. For Real to Real, I'm Rebecca Drake.
Suzanne and Richard certainly are an inspiration for all people of faith, and we thank them for sharing their story with us. More about the programs and volunteer opportunities here at Providence Ministries can be found through a link at iobserve.org.